to this week's episode of Success in Women. I'm Linda.
I'm Andrea.
And today we're going to be talking about slowing down.
Yes.
We'll let you know what that's all about in a couple of minutes after Andrea gives you the tip of the week.
Well, you know how it's blistering hot outside and we're always thirsty or looking for a cold drink. And sometimes we don't have water bottles, or even if you do, they out in the sun they get warm pretty quickly. Well, what I did the other day was I took an empty, it happened to be a Gatorade bottle, and I filled it halfway with water and I stuck it in the freezer. Now I happened to lay it on its side, but you could stand it up also so that it's half frozen. And then when you're ready to go out, you fill it up with your drink, water, whatever, and it'll take a long time for that chunk of ice to melt, and it'll keep your drink really nice and cold, especially now with going out for the kids' soccer games and t-ball and whatnot. We're always out and about. And of course you get hot and thirsty.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find a cold drink sometimes.
And actually, interestingly enough, recently I was in the middle of a move, and water was like, having some nice cold water because it was a hot day for the move. It would have been a nice thing to know about.
Yeah, and you recycle.
Yeah, exactly. I know that sometimes they say you shouldn't reuse your plastic, but I hate a one-time use plastic.
I know.
So for me,
true.
that's a good thing. So what happened was, Andrew and I getting together and filming and deciding, what we would talk about, because ladies, we know how life can get overwhelming. And when I arrived at Andrea's to do the filming, she was like stressed out because for the last few weeks, she's been nonstop. So nonstop that one of the things that she actually did for herself was get herself a new haircut. Beautiful.
Save me some time.
Because you know what it's like? It's like trying to get ready during the day, and if you have longer hair, it takes a lot longer to get ready and everything. But even with that, today was an overwhelming day because of what's been happening over the last few weeks. So we wanted to talk about that and why slowing down will actually help you accomplish more, and I'm going to say be more successful in your life.
Exactly. Well, like today, the whole week has been one thing after another every day, and things that had to be done, like my hair and my nails, because the women that take care of that for me are leaving on European vacations and they won't be around for a while, so I had to squeeze that in. And then my daughter's birthday, and we went to see an aunt that can't come to the house, so we had to make a day to go there. Then all the girls went to the new Barbie movie, which was a lot of fun. And then, of course, the actual day. So when I had to run out and think about everything I had to do, I was getting overwhelmed. And then I just said to myself, okay, stop, slow down. What do you need to do? And as I was thinking about it and getting the things checked off my list, I was feeling better. But what happens is if you don't slow down, you end up running outside, getting in your car, and all of a sudden, oh, I forgot my list. Oh, I forgot the receipt that I have to pick up the cake, or oh, I forgot my keys. So you end up like not saving time whatsoever by rushing. And then of course, when you're driving, I notice so many people just zipping by and thinking to myself, why are they in such a hurry? Where are they going? And those are the type of things that create accidents.
So speaking of accidents, the day of the move, I'm driving along one street close to from my sister's place, going to the new house, and there's a single car accident, smuck right across the sidewalk into a lamppost.
Oh.
Single car accident. So you can guess what that was all about.
Right.
In a hurry, probably looking down, texting, or making a call that is not Bluetooth and not paying attention to the road.
Right.
Sunny day, middle of the day, no issue to have an accident.
I know.
And the lady that was in the accident was wearing her scrubs. I think either a nurse or a personal care worker but trying to multitask while
Yes,
driving.
probably, and in a hurry to get to
Yeah.
an appointment or get home.
And now look at,
Yeah,
Now
so
look
they
at-
saved absolutely no
Nothing.
time whatsoever. And the same with like when you're got a lot on your mind and you go to the mall or you go to the grocery store. And I notice even myself, I almost did it today. And again, I stopped myself and said, pay attention, because I'm backing up and I'm thinking about where I'm going next instead of concentrating on backing up. And that's what you have to do. You have to slow down. Then when you're looking both ways, you're actually seeing. So because you might be coming out nice and slow, but the guy coming towards you is going too fast, and
Not
he
paying
might be not
attention.
paying attention. So if at least you're paying attention, you have a chance to avoid a situation. And it happened to my friend in Florida. He was dropping his family off at one of the bigger malls and was coming out, and this young teenager in a hurry whips around, just barreled right into him. And I mean, he had a big van. He totaled the van. Now, the stress that put on, well, his insurance probably going to go sky high. And my friend, they were visiting the US, so that caused them all kinds of paperwork and phone calls, and it just ruined the rest of his holiday.
well, and that actually happened to my younger brother in January. Same thing. Somebody not paying attention in a parking lot, smucked.
Right.
But I mean, my brother and your friend, it was a male, and they both got involved with, other males not paying attention. The point is, it can happen to anybody.
Anybody.
And I told you the accident that I saw was it was a lady in a single car accident.
Right.
But this is what happens when you leave the house, you're overwhelmed. And it was
Yes.
one of the things that even coming over and seeing Andrea just flustered, it was like, okay, let's take a step back.
And it did, when just you and I sitting and talking out the day what we were going to do calmed me down. And that's what you need to do. Like, instead of just going on and on, like realize what the issue is, why you're feeling so overwhelmed, and prioritize everything in your mind, like what really has to be done right now.
It's true.
And other things can be tomorrow. Like I'm going to say this, one issue that I had was I had a broken nail, and I shouldn't have, because I had just got them done on Friday. This shouldn't have happened. So I should have been, and I had no time to go back. And I thought, okay, today after Weight Watcher, I was going to go. Well, then I thought to myself, you know what, Andrea, just fix it. It's good enough for today, and maybe tomorrow I'll have time to go, rather than trying so hard to squeeze it in and putting more pressure on myself. And I'm happy. I fixed it enough that it looks fine, and I saved myself at least an hour, and
That's
maybe
true.
more, because I had to drive there and drive back and sit there. And I know sitting there I would have been like on pins and needles, because I have things to do.
Well, and speaking of that, when you're at work, you ladies that are out of the house working, you're thinking about all the things that you have to do at home, especially if you've got something going on, some kind of social function or something else. You're trying to get your work done, but you're not really focused, and you're not really present anywhere.
No.
You don't really actually, I'll say, accomplish, and you're not really there for your job, but you're not really there when you get home. Because
Exactly.
you're thinking about all the work that you never got done because you weren't focusing while you were at the office.
Exactly.
And that can be a problem again.
Oh, absolutely. Because you don't think it out, you get overwhelmed, and that just causes anxiety, more stress, and it doesn't do you any good.
No,
Nothing gets done. And
Right.
a lot of people will just throw their hands up in the air and say, forget it.
Except that it's still
I'm
on
going
their
back
mind.
to bed.
Except that it's still on their mind.
Yeah.
And so sometimes even taking a break, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, go for a walk, clear your head,
Yes.
reprioritize what needs to be done. Like Andrew said, maybe there's some things that you can put off, but maybe there's some things you can delegate. You don't have to do everything yourself. And I know we all like to be super women, but come on, ladies.
Yeah.
There's a whole whack of people out there that can help you. Sometimes you just need to ask.
Yes, and I mean, I find that even in my house, I'm at fault there too, because I take on too much in the house instead of saying to one of my daughters, like, you know, this is going to be your job today. I'll just do it, you know, and stress myself out, and I have to learn to be more that way. To delegate. But I'm, you know, they're working, whatever, but it's still no excuse. Like they should, I should be able to ask them to do things, and it's not that they won't do it, it's just that
they're not volunteering.
But and I'm saying, well, you know, instead of waiting, because I don't have the patience to wait, then I'll just do it myself.
Well, it's interesting because one of my sisters, every time she gets overwhelmed and she gets really on the B side, but I say, then why don't you ask your husband to help? And she goes, he should just know to do it. I'm not asking him. I'm not his mother. Well, you know what? Sometimes men need direction. Now, one of the things with Andrea, she did say that her husband's very proactive. And so when he's around, because he is working, but when he is around, he's very good at just knowing what to, you know, start doing and helping out. But not all men are like that.
No.
And so with my sister, I just say, well, just ask him. I'm sure he'll do it. Because she's always saying, oh, he'll do everything for everybody else. Well, that's because other people are asking. And he's like, no problem, he'll do it.
That's true.
But he won't just pick up and do something to help her out.
Right.
And so she just, like you, will just kind of take on the task. But then she gets overwhelmed. And then she gets
miserable. I know. I can be like that sometimes if I'm doing too much. I can just be snappy, like you know, if somebody's taking a glass out, and I'll say, make sure you clean that. I just cleaned that kitchen. And it only happens if I'm having an event like today, you know. So I'm having people over, so you know, you want it to, you've already done it once, you don't want to have to do it again before people arrive. But on a day-to-day basis, I'm not too bad, but it's your personality also. You know, some people, like I said, they can walk over a dirty rag for a week without picking it up, you know, and they're fine with it, and that's great, but I can't. So sometimes we're our own worst enemy, you know, for
True enough. But one of the things, again, another quote from Dr. Laura.
Okay.
is she says, like, because it's so easy, because you know, I know that most women, I'm not saying all, but for most women, they get the brunt of all of the work. Looking after the kids, doing the shopping, running the errands, working. A lot of you are working outside the home, trying to cook the dinner. You're doing everything. And then you get really miserable if you have to now start cleaning on top of everything else because you're tired. You can't find 5 minutes for yourself.
Right.
What Dr. Laura says is that, again, it's one of those things about delegating. Well, if you can't delegate it to anybody, then maybe you need to pay for a cleaner. Maybe you need to ask one of your neighbors to carpool with, you know, their kids to go to an event. You don't have to take on the whole world by yourself. But you've got to be able to ask.
Find ways to help you slow down. You know, ways that, like you said, maybe your child takes dance lessons, but a friend of yours' child does also. So say 1 week I'll drive, next week you drive. You know, I mean,
because it helps you both out.
It helps you both out. Then you can save some time. And like even this morning with my girlfriend not wanting to go to Weight Watchers because she doesn't drive, I go pick her up and I take her and we stay for the meeting. She couldn't come today, so that saved me a lot of time. And then I just did the weigh-in and didn't stay for the meeting. So you have to find ways to save time and be happy with it. You know?
But slowing down is important, because one of the other things we talked about
with our thinking too, like
everything,
because sometimes you're thinking so much you forget something, and and nothing's worse than, at the end of the day saying, oh, geez, I forgot to call so-and-so for their birthday. Or, you have to slow down and try and make sure that you know what you have to get done and do it.
But the other thing that we talked about, Andrea, was time was going by so fast.
Oh, yes.
When you think about,
That's
we're
another thing.
more than halfway through the year, but it's because
Already.
we're always in a rush. And you can talk to young people and they're always on the go, on the go, on the go. But you have to stop and smell the flowers at some point. Otherwise, you've missed your whole life.
Well, and let's face it, the media doesn't help. They're already advertising for back to school. The kids are not
Halloween stuff is out,
and
apparently.
Halloween stuff.
Apparently.
They send us into the future so quickly.
Yes.
So you start worrying about it. And that's what their whole idea is. Like, if you go now to the store and probably try to find patio furniture, it's probably all gone.
Yeah, and we're still in the middle of summer.
We're in the middle of summer and they're already advertising back to school and backpacks and fall and fall clothing. And I'm thinking, hey, can we slow down a bit? They're always pushing us forward.
Yes.
And then when October comes, then it's going to be Thanksgiving and Christmas. And in October...
Oh, I think by the end of August, September, we'll start seeing Christmas.
Yes.
Especially at places like Costco and stuff.
Right. And now they even have on television Christmas in July.
Oh,
so they already got people thinking, okay, it's fun to watch, but it's all, they're igniting something in you. Like, oh, geez, and they just push us. They really do push everybody. And you don't enjoy the day.
The moment.
And
it's actually...
I'm finding that more and more.
Yeah. And that's part of like, when and where did that all happen? When you look back now, and even your kids, how grown they are.
Right.
It went by like that.
I know. That's what we say all the time. My girlfriends and I, we say, where does the time go? Like somebody will post a picture of their grandson, like 5 years old. Go, what? I thought he was just born. Time is flying because we're moving too quickly. We just don't.
But
sit
again,
and
you've
enjoy.
said the media hasn't helped.
No. Like, what family do you know now? In our time, every night the family had dinner together.
Mm-hmm.
Every single night. It was very rare that we were not all sitting.
Yep, you're right.
It's very rare now.
It's very.
That a family
that's an exception now.
That's an exception now.
Yep.
Yeah, and my house now with my two daughters, we try. 3 of us are usually always here. The other one works usually later, but we try still to do it. But it's getting more difficult because so much is going on. Got to go here, got to go there. Child's got to go here, child's got to go there. And even Sunday now, I mean, in our days, Sunday, everything was closed. There wasn't a store open anywhere. Now, everything's open. So you don't even hardly sit as a family on Sunday.
That's true. But I have to tell you, which I thought was really interesting, there's a small mall, small indoor mall by where I live, and it's where my gym is. And so when I go there on Sunday mornings, because my personal trainer happens to work on a Sunday morning. Anyway, the entrance that I go in, there's a Tim Hortons inside the mall. Now, when I go on a Wednesday morning for my training session, there's a lineup way outside into the mall to go into Tim Hortons.
Wow.
Okay. On Sunday, they close it off. I have never seen Tim Hortons is closed on a Sunday in that mall because they cater so much to
the business.
I'm going to say the business people that are coming and going kind of thing. They all go into this mall because it's right outside and it's inside the mall, but you have to go in one entrance and it's right there. And so they get so much business during the week. They've decided they're closing. And when I go by on Sundays, it's like, it always seems weird that it's closed.
But that's good. I'm glad they did that. Like, so give their staff a day to be with family.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering if it opens later in the day. But when I'm going there, it's late in late in the morning. So there's activity in the mall, and people are getting ready to open up and everything else. You don't see anything. You don't see people back there getting ready with the donuts and anything. So it looks like it's totally closed.
That would be great because that was the way it was when we were growing up.
Yep.
And nobody missed it. If you needed groceries or whatever, you got it on Saturday.
Yeah, or Monday.
or Monday if
And the milk
you know,
and bread, you can buy it from the corner store.
That's true. Like,
Yeah.
you know, things like that. And families were, the streets were full of kids playing and having fun. And
actually, you knew
now-
where your kids were. You knew what they were doing, and you didn't have to worry about what they're seeing online, because that's another
right.
big problem, because
Right.
they spend so much time in front of the computer that there's a lot more younger kids getting, enticed on certain things, that because parents are too busy and too overwhelmed
Right.
to really watch what their kids are doing online. And that's another thing that you have to worry about.
And you know, there's not that many places to go as a family. Like, even on the other day, I was looking fun things to do in Mississauga with kids, or Toronto. And there are things, but they're a fortune.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Fortune to
Our
take
families
your
didn't.
child.
Yeah, we
You
didn't
know,
have that.
to go to Illumini, or to go to the Disney immersion thing. You know, everything is so expensive, so it's hard for families to do anything together except stay home. And nowadays nobody likes to stay home, especially the young kids. They want to do something.
And yet we had fun doing that, because again, we lived on a street that, the lake was right there. So,
The mountains behind us.
Yeah, and walking to the corner store just to get ice cream was a big thing. It was easy enough to do, and it cost so little for our families. And especially because we were such big families.
Right.
But we didn't need any kind of other stimulation except for each other.
And when you think about it, Linda, I think it took us a long time to be 16.
Yes, it
18.
did.
I felt like I was never gonna get there.
Yep, we were kids a long time.
Yeah, but nowadays it's Zoom.
Yep.
Like, my grandson's gonna be 6. Like,
And he does. I mean, everything.
how did that happen?
Yeah.
Everything's going at a faster pace. We need to slow down.
Totally. And whether you take a few minutes every day or several times throughout the day, just to get back to being relaxed.
Right. Take a few breaths.
Yes.
Sit down. Even
Close
maybe
your eyes a bit. Meditate for 5 minutes.
Meditate for 5 minutes. It's not going to ruin your day.
No, and actually, I bet you'll see a lot more benefit and more productivity.
Exactly.
Because it'll take less effort if you're just totally letting go. Yes.
Yes. I feel so much calmer now that you
Yes.
came and we've done the show.
Because
feel
it would have
relaxed.
been, you were going like, I was like, okay, wait a minute.
I know. When you opened the door and
Yeah.
you saw me, you were like, whoa, what's wrong?
Because it's not, and it's not normally you.
Not normally me, right?
But it was, you said, the last few weeks, overwhelming.
Yeah.
So ladies, please do this for yourself, but you will not only benefit yourself, you're going to see how much more you're going to be able to offer your family, your friends, your colleagues at work, whatever it is, you're going to see, because you're more relaxed, you're calm.
Your brain is clear.
Yes.
Clear thinking.
You'll be able to do so much more, and it'll help you in your journey. So until next week, I'm Linda.
I'm Andrea.
But we hope you
like,
share,
and subscribe.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.